How's it going? So today we're going to be talking about how to make any microphone you might have, whether it is a cheap $20 Chinese knockoff or a $300 dynamic mic. How can you record in an environment with lots of noise, fans, TVs, whatever, people talking? How can you record in an environment like that and still get a nice clean isolation on your voice? Here's a little before and after. So this is the level of noise that I'm going to be completely cutting out from this video. Now I could absolutely just leave it like this, leave it raw. It's like 100 degrees here where I live, so I have to have a fan going pretty much at all times. So here's the before, here is the after, here is the before, and here is the after. This video is definitely targeted towards absolute beginners in the space. So the program I'm going to be talking about today is called Equalizer APO. This is an open source program that basically hooks into your Windows audio input. It just runs in the background. This is the raw sound. This is the before. And this is the after. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to keep talking, turn it all back off. This is what it sounds like. So I have to cut through all of this. I just switch it on and that's it. It's gone. I'm completely fine. I'm able to record through all of this and it's not an issue whatsoever. Let me turn all of these off. Okay, so we're back to the raw sound. I'm sliding my keyboard out from under my desk. So if I turn all of this back on, it should be pretty clear. You're not going to completely eliminate everything, but this is a lot more manageable. Same with like handling noise. The reason why this is the one that I want to recommend people use is because of just how low resource usage it is. This is the resource usage footprint that Equalizer APO takes up on my computer with this full effects rack running. A lot of microphone companies nowadays like Elgato, Shure, Mayono, they're all like really pushing their own proprietary audio apps, which I get it. These companies want to keep you within their own brand ecosystem. So if you buy an Elgato mic, of course, Elgato wants you to use the Elgato software so that they can collect and sell your information. I'm joking, Elgato, please send me more free stuff. If you're going to be, maybe streaming or recording, maybe gameplay with browser tabs open, plus you have your mic, your camera, whatever, every gig does add up. Equalizer APO is just, you literally can just set it and forget it. EqualizerAPO.com. Their own tutorial on the website on how to set this up is honestly one of the best resources you can get. I'm just going to run through it real quick. Just download and install it in the device selector. Make sure that you don't have any of your playback devices selected. If you want to say EQ your headphones, if you've got maybe cheap headphones, you want to EQ them to maybe give them some more bass, that's what using the playback devices are good for. But we're going to be ignoring this because we're just talking about microphones. Cool. So you want to select the microphone you're using. And if you need to figure out which one this is before anyone just clicks random buttons and then says, it don't work, your Windows settings should tell you which microphone you are using. So I'm using Fifine SC8 mic. This is the audio interface that I have it plugged into. So I'm going to match it up with this and make sure that this is selected. And then you will just click OK. From there, you will open up the Equalizer APO configuration editor. The first time you get this pop-up, click yes, and then select your mic. Maybe this will get fixed at some point, but every time you open this up, you'll probably get this pop-up and you can just click no. Up at the top, make sure you have your microphone selected. A lot of times it will default to your headphones or whatever speaker configuration you have. Click on this drop-down box and just always make sure that you have it set to your microphone. The next thing you will need is this, Worman's noise suppression for voice on GitHub. This is also open source. It's free. If you've never used GitHub, you are going to go to releases right here and then click on win. Once you're in the zip file, all you need is what's inside of the VST folder. Stereo or mono doesn't really matter. Most condenser and dynamic microphones and stuff are actually mono. So I would recommend using the mono plugin. You will want to unzip these two files to the VST plugins folder for Equalizer APO. APO. Now within the Equalizer APO configuration editor, you will click the plus sign to add a filter. Go down to plugins and click on VST plugin. Click on the little folder icon, and in your Equalizer APO folder, find the mono plugin and open it. To configure it, you will click on open panel, and this is your new best friend. This should cut out pretty much anything that's going on. The only thing it's really going to miss and let through is like if you have someone else talking in the background in the same room, that other voice is probably going to cut through and end up in your recordings. So that's a whole different thing, and that's also what a noise gate is for, and we're going to get into that in a second. This does come with quite a few very good plugins right out of the box. It's pretty much all you need. I do tend to run a preamp plugin with 4 decibels of gain. Another very important plugin to use is going to be what's called a high pass filter. This is going to cut out low end background noises and rumbles. So I'm going to turn all of these effects off so that you can hear the difference with and without the high pass filter. So let's just do typing noises. So this is pretty loud. I'm just tapping on my desk and it gets picked up really bad by this mic. If I turn the high pass filter on, suddenly it's not as bad. Now, if you want to be really thorough in your removal of background noise, we are going to download another set of plugins, and these are plugins that I think any creator should always have. Reaper, another open source program. This is a digital audio workstation for producing music. Reaper has a free VST plugin suite that you can download on their website. Go ahead and download, go ahead and install it. They should install to the default Windows VST plugins folder. Once this is installed, go down to the plus sign, add another VST plugin, go into your replugs folder and find what's called regate. And that will get you this. Is called a noise gate. Basically what it does is any sound that is below a certain volume threshold just gets muted, and it is unmuted again based on volume. The default configuration is pretty much good enough. You can pretty much just whack this on and then just forget about it. And then a couple of optional plugins you can use. If you, like most of us, don't like the sound of your own voice, you can always run an EQ to kind of beef up your voice a little bit. It just adds a little bit of definition, a little bit of clarity, kind of beefs up the low end a bit. I like how this sounds. I think this works for me. So, I mean, if you just want to kind of process your voice in a way that makes it more, tolerable to you, don't go way overboard on this. Subtle changes are the name of the game when it comes to getting a good sound. Please, for the love of God, do not bleep. Try to copy someone else's EQ. It doesn't work like that. Everyone's voice is different. We all have different timbres, tonalities, and inflections, accents. You can't copy anyone's EQ and have it sound good. In fact, if you copy mine, I guarantee it's going to sound like bleep on your voice. EQing your voice is an exercise in patience, and you are going to have to make small, subtle, keywords, subtle adjustments in order to eventually land on something that you really like. This is a pretty good way to sort of alleviate the issue that most of us have. I don't like listening to my voice. I hate the way my voice sounds on videos like this. I don't like it, and that's completely normal, by the way. This, at least, doesn't really sound like me anymore. So when I'm editing, it does make my time editing feel a lot more tolerable because it doesn't really feel like I am editing my own voice as much. I don't know if that makes sense. This is just a complete mental thing, but that's just how it is for me. And then my next sort of optional plugin is called the ReX Compressor. This is kind of another one that you can pretty much just put it on and just leave it at default settings. Can't you just do this in OBS? Yes, you're going to just right click on your audio input, go to filters. OBS actually has great noise reduction built into it, and it's the same noise reduction. It's RN noise. It's the same thing. Now, the reason I prefer to do this instead of this is because this will only run in OBS. These effects are only going to be running while I'm recording. Why is this important? Using Equalizer APO, this is now hooked into your actual Windows input, meaning, say, if you are on like a Discord call, all of these effects are still going going to be working in the background in Discord, or even, you know, like a Zoom call, stuff like that. And that's what I like about this method, is the consistency of it, if that makes sense. Now, here's the thing, is if you change microphones, you are going to have to reset this up. So if I plug a different mic into my computer, I unplug all this, I plug in like a USB mic, you are going to have to close out of Equalizer APO, open up your Equalizer APO device selector. Now, say I'm going to be using this microphone instead, uncheck the previous one and check the new one and hit OK. From there, you can just reopen Equalizer APO. You might get this pop-up again. Doesn't really matter. You just close out of it. Just make sure that up here, it just is selected. If it is installed properly, it will say already installed. I have been using this program for years. I have zero intention of ever switching off of it. It's so simple. It's a minimal footprint and it just works. This is not some proprietary app that requires like an email or a sign up. It doesn't phone home to some company in Bangladesh. I highly value the simplicity of this setup. I like things that I can just set up once and then never have to deal with again. And this is one of those solutions. So what is this a solution to? So this is a solution to excessive or intrusive background noise in your recordings. What it is not a solution to, I mean, it kind of is, but it mostly isn't. Room echo and reverb. If you have a very echoey recording space, it's very common, especially in like apartments and stuff. This is not an end all be all solution to that. It does help, but it's not perfect. This is a band-aid fix. If you are recording in an echoey space like a living room, you still need to work on sound treatment and eliminating echoes physically in the real world. I am a massive proponent of the idea that the best tool is the one you have. So if all you can afford is like a $20 USB condenser mic, this is just a good way to sort of squeeze out the most mileage out of whatever gear you are able to get your hands on. You can make any microphone sound good. It just takes time, patience, and small, subtle, incremental adjustments to finally land on something that you're happy with. And this is a huge misconception that a lot of people have, is that people start out with these $20 mics, and because their sound treatment is so bad and they've got so much noise in their room, they've got fans going and stuff, people think that just simply buying a more expensive microphone will solve that problem. Or they feel like they need to buy a microphone that has like built-in onboard noise reduction. You don't have to do that. If you are trying to clean up your recordings for voice acting, very, very small, subtle adjustments are what you need to be going for. Turn your freaking fans off. You do not want to be running aggressive noise reduction like this on a professional recording that is intended for like commercial use. But for like YouTube content, this is fine. So yeah, this is my full Equalizer APO effects rack. This is how I completely eliminate any and all background noise in my recordings. This is not an end-all be-all solution. You can't like record in your garage and have this just magically make you sound better. That's not how it works. The best solution to getting a good sound starts in sound treatment of your space. If you struggle a lot with like echo and reverb in your recordings, then don't get the little cheap ass foam acoustic panels. They don't actually do anything and they're way too expensive. The best solution to reducing echo and reverb is filling your room with stuff. Get a bookshelf, fill it up with books or whatever. And then of course, you know, elephant in the room, the best solution is to just turn the fan off. just turn your fan off. But again, I'm being lazy here. I don't want to turn my fan off. I want to be able to make a video like this and not sweat. So yeah, I don't know. This is just my solution to that. On this channel, I never intended to go into like tutorial style content because there are honestly just a million way better channels that you should watch instead for stuff like that. But at this point, I think I've gotten enough questions and comments about audio processing, and I figure it's about time. Go ahead and get this done. Just stick with what you have and start here. Hope this is helpful. Let me know if it was or wasn't. Like, subscribe, and comment, and see ya.